Alright, for starters, I'm going to go ahead and say I've already seen this once. Well, actually, more like twice. My previous attempt at recording this didn't work out too well, so hopefully this one goes better. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. I'm probably not going to see the end of the game in this video. There were a number of things you guys could have done to press the early advantage you guys had. A number of things that you could have done better, and I'm going to try to focus on those. Just try to keep this video as a sort of things to improve on and mistakes, etc., as opposed to any sort of like whole game analysis, if that makes sense. Because I don't feel like now analyzing the whole game is going to be that beneficial to you. There are a lot of things, such as your Nami not being very good, that you didn't have a lot of control over, that really impacted the game. Sometimes your teammates just aren't good, or sometimes your teammates make some stupid plays, and that kind of stuff you can't really control. Some games you aren't going to win anyway, but I felt like this is a game that was definitely winnable if you'd done the right things, and that's what I'm trying to highlight in this video. I'm going to show the majority of laning phase, I do believe, because laning phase is a critical early part of the game that oftentimes determines a lot of the outcome of the game. So your laning seems fine at the moment. It's the level 2 engage that happens where things could have been slightly better, but we'll see that in a moment. You do hit level 2 slightly before them, but they hit it so fast that you guys aren't able to actually exploit any sort of advantage. So right here, you switch your rocket form, and that's a mistake. As soon as the fight started, I was like right here, you were standing right here, and you should have stayed in melee form, or not melee form, but minigun form, because minigun form actually has more DPS, because you'll notice that minigun, each additional attack in minigun form grants you increasing attack speed, and so your DPS is higher in minigun form. You do slightly more damage rocket launcher form, and you gain some splash damage, but your role as an AD carry is to do sustained damage on a single target over time in a fight, not necessarily just do some splash damage. Um, and so your DPS is higher with minigun form. You should have stayed in minigun form and continue shooting Ez, because what's going to happen is Leona is going to pick up the kill, the first blood on Nami, and you would have gotten the first blood if you'd stayed in minigun form. So you'll notice your DPS is a lot lower here. You're doing slightly more damage, but yeah, if you were in minigun form, you would have killed Ez a lot faster. And you switch back to, this is correct, like switching to minigun form, shooting Leona, and then switching to rocket form as she runs away, that's correct. But you just staying in rocket form to fight Ezreal was not correct. You should have stayed in minigun form. Another problem is you're not shoving this wave hard. You just gotta kill bottom lane. You need to clear the next wave that comes as fast as you can. This means like using rocket form kind of like this, that's fine. Using rocket form to clear the wave. That way you can back and get back to lane without losing too much CS whenever Ezreal comes. You also don't want to be staying in lane with just your basic items when Ez comes back with more items. So you want to clear the wave as fast as you can and then back. So you could have cleared it slightly faster. That's something that you seem to realize a little bit after you killed Ez. You're like, oh, I should probably clear this wave. You need to be immediately thinking that as soon as Ez dies and Leona gets out of the lane, you need to immediately think, I need to push this lane or the next wave really hard, and then I need to back. So I'm just going to speed this up until you're back in the lane. Something goes on mid, but not going to worry too much about it. Yeah, one thing I would say is instead of getting the pickaxe, I would have gotten a second Doran's, because with minigun form you're going to have increasing attack speed, and so that's really good with 6% lifesteal. Getting the second Doran's, getting boots, because boots will help you dodge Leona's E a lot better. Boots also allows you to chase better in case you get in an extended trade, because since you have the first kill on Ezreal, you should be able to fight Ezreal pretty well. It'd be a lot better if you got in first blood, but you are able to come into lane and fight Ezreal and win extended trades. Maybe not an all-in if Leona hits you, especially because your Nami's not very good. But you are able to win extended trades against Ezreal, assuming you can, for the most part, dodge Leona. And so getting the second Dorans would be really crucial there. Getting boots is really good for chasing, for dodging Leona, for moving around faster, which is really crucial for pressing advantage. And another thing you'll notice that Nami did not get a ward. Nami died before you did, and so when you backed, you could have seen what Nami had gotten, especially since she's in lane before you. When you know she doesn't have a ward is when you need to get a ward. It's her fault for not getting a ward. She's not a very good support, but you should have gotten a ward because how are you going to press any sort of advantage in lane with your early kill if you can't even push lane? Like, if you're afraid of a gank because you don't have a ward that you can put in the river, then how are you going to press any advantage in lane? So that would be the first mistake. Even if Nami had gotten a ward, I think I would have come back with a ward. Anyway, just, you know, to that, because a lot of the way I play bottom lane is not giving my support the benefit of the doubt in terms of advantages. Like, I will respect, I'll try to pay attention to see how good my support is, and I'll pay attention to see how their support is, and it's mostly their support that's important, because if they have a really good support, then you might not be able to press much of an advantage in lane anyway, even though you got the early kill. But if you'll notice the way Leona's been playing, she's basically just sitting in the bush and just camping the bush all day. It's kind of a lazy way to play support, not really how you should be doing it. Then, you know, I would certainly be a lot more aggressive in lane, and I would come back with a ward, regardless of whatever Nami bought. This way I can make sure I can press my advantage in lane. And it's very hard to press any sort of advantage if you're not able to push the lane, or at least zone him out. And you can't zone him out if you don't have any ward coverage here, at least not effectively. So the problem here is that you're letting Ezreal more or less push you, and that's fine. You can wait till the next wave gets here, but I would be aggressively attacking these creeps, since you have way more damage than Ezreal. You have 118, Ezreal has 95, so you're doing a lot more damage than him. You know, you should be looking to engage Ezreal more. So in Plat League, people will be pressing your advantages really hard. Like, one thing in Platinum I can tell you from first-hand experience, that if I give 2 kills in lane, if I am 0-2 in lane, I cannot win the lane, and I feel like I can't lane at all. Like, I just get completely shit on because the enemy laner is going to realize that they have level advantage on me, they have better items than me, they've been alive longer, so they have more CS, and assuming they've been backing the same amount of times I've been backing, so that way we've shopped the same number of times, they're going to have way better items than me, and be doing way more damage, have more health because of the level advantage, and they're just going to shove me out of lane. Like, they're just going to walk in lane. If I try to lane at all, they start shooting me and trying to go for the extended trade that they know they can win. In this case, you should be looking to do the same thing, even though you only have 1 kill. Like, 1 kill is huge in higher elo. 2 kills is like you can't like do anything in lane because they're just so fed. Like, 2 kills is it's hard to play against someone who's 2 kills in plat elo, and so one thing you're doing is you're just not fighting as, like, you're not looking to trade with him for some odd reason. You're trying to play it safe when you have an advantage, and you're letting him farm. So you're basically letting, in many ways, you know, he's pushing you in right now because he's pushing the wave in toward your tower, and he's able to do that because you don't have a ward, so you can't safely push out. Like, this tri-lane bush ward is not enough for you to actually push out the lane, so you should have had a ward that you could place in here, and you're not playing aggressive at all. Like, you're not even trying to zone him, even with these 3 creeps. You wait till the next wave comes, and then you start trying to fight him. If he tries to fight back, you know you can win. You just try to do your best to dodge Leona, and you should be fine. You can zone him out and actually trap the wave here. You know, just be really aggressive and try to shove him out, because you know you can win any sort of extended trade. But you're not doing that. You're letting him passively farm. And so it's almost like I would be insulted if I was in your situation right now, because Ez is basically shoving you into your tower. He's freely farming. and he's not even respecting the fact that you have a pickaxe and more CS, and that you do have sort of like a level advantage, or you should have had a level advantage if you had pushed the wave or like the last time whenever you backed, if you'd cleared that wave a little bit faster, you'd come back in a lane about like a little bit after he did, and you'd have a lot more in terms of level advantage. Yeah, so this is pretty much like an insult to AD carries right here. You have a kill and he doesn't, and he is shoving you in. Like, you'll notice you miss significant CS because of the tower. That's why you don't want to ever be shoved into your tower. It's fine to trap the wave here. This is actually a fine place to trap the wave. Because Ez doesn't want to be pushed up. Like, if Ez is behind, he doesn't want to be shoved all the way to your tower trying to CS. But the problem is you're not, like, pressing your advantage at all. Like, you haven't even been shooting him. You haven't been trying to hit him. Even if you're hitting Leona, that's fine. Like, you can be shooting people, pressing the advantage. You have a pickaxe. You do significantly more damage. All you're doing here is just passively farming and letting Ez passively farm. And so you're not pressing any advantage at all. Like, what is this? Ez doesn't even have a minion wave. Like, so this whole time that his wave was coming down, like when your wave is here, when both of you if you both of you clear waves at the same time, your wave gets here before his. Like, as soon as his wave is done, I'm gonna start fighting him because he has no wave. He can't shoot me back if his minions aren't in lane yet. So like a few seconds before this, your minions are here. His minions are like at his tower still. I would start fighting him. If he tries to fight me, my minion wave gets here and starts wrecking him. Uh, I mean, I don't know, you're like playing super passive. I don't understand. I'm gonna speed this up. I'm not sure if anything interesting goes on here. Yeah, so basically both of you are passively farming. It's almost like you don't even have a kill, because he's basically got the same CS as you. Yeah, so this is what I mean. So by the time you do push up, like you've lost basically all advantage in lane now. Uh, I mean, you guys weren't able to exploit any sort of advantage in lane, and you didn't have the ward, so you could actually push. So you do get the second door ends. Getting the vision ward's nice. Although I think you just sold it. Yeah, this is actually probably a better buy if you can get boots and a stealth ward. Just gonna speed this up until you get back in the lane. So that was nice. You have a tendency to switch to rocket form for fights. I would say stay in minigun form because your DPS is actually higher. Uh, this is this is really an insult right here. So you guys just killed them bot, and then they do the worst dragon, the most unallowed dragon in the history of the game, because they have no right to this dragon. You guys even have a ward here to see it, and you don't contest the dragon. I don't even understand. It's almost like I don't know. It's almost like you guys don't even realize you have an advantage. This is really good here. Forcing the Amumu flash. Although I don't even understand why he was here in the first place. But you guys let him have dragon. Triss was coming down to contest, And if you'd gone there as well, you guys could have contested it. But you guys gave them dragon, so that shouldn't happen. That's what I'm saying. Like this whole game is like insulting. Like I would feel straight up insulted um, if I was ahead and they were taking things like dragon. You shouldn't really allow this to happen. Like you really need to understand when you're ahead and start utilizing that a lot more. Like start fighting them. Not necessarily, you gotta respect their sport, like their Leona. You don't want to get caught by her, but you gotta understand when you're stronger and start being more aggressive, going for extended trades, I should say. And when you kill them bottom, you never let them just take dragon. You have vision on it. Don't just let them just have dragon for no reason. So I'm gonna speed this up again. Um, it was a good attempt to kill a Moo there. Anyway, so I did miss like a large part of that fight. Um, yeah, that's fine. You switching between forms, it seems to be fine here. Like this is what happens when minions get shoved to your tower constantly. Minions are going to eventually take your tower. And granted, a lot of the tower loss was because you guys got killed that one time. That got double killed at one time bottom, and then they chunked your tower. But allowing Ez, because you're still technically ahead of Ez, right? Because you have 2 kills, relatively same CS, and he has 3 assists. Um, he has more health than you, but you actually have more damage than him because you have a pickaxe. You have more lifesteal because you have minigun and you have double Dorans, so you can actually win an extended trade. But by allowing him to constantly push the minion wave into your tower, that means your tower is going to fall first, even though you're doing more damage than him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is just insulting. If I was playing this game, I would feel insulted that someone weaker than me is shoving things into my tower, that he's going to take my tower first. And this is going to be a trend that you see throughout the entire game. Something that you need to work on is applying pressure, realizing when you're ahead and just keeping the pressure up, because their team is going to do a great job of this. There's going to come a point where you guys are like, I think 5 to 10 kills, maybe even like 15 kills up on them. I don't even remember, but you guys were like a significant number of kills ahead. Um, but the problem is you were continuing playing reactionary. You were waiting for the minion waves to come to you so you can farm them instead of grouping with Trist mid and taking mid outer, or grouping with Riven top and taking top outer. And because of that, you guys lose all your outer turrets. You guys lose like inner turrets before you guys even take like one of their outer turrets. And that's just embarrassing. So remember that minigun form does more DPS. You guys do clean this up, but you could have done a lot better by staying in minigun form instead of switching to rocket form and then just shooting rockets the entire fight. You do more damage with a minigun. So this is good. You're shoving this wave in really fast. I do think you take their tower here. Yeah, you do. Okay. That's good. That's fine. I'm going to speed this up. So their bottom lane is really smart, and they realize that you guys backed, and so they're going to take your tower. Nami's going to get caught in the jungle somewhere around here. There's nothing you can do about that. So you go bottom. That's fine. You're fast clearing this wave. That's really good, because you need to get this wave out. So you notice that their bot lane rotated mid and took your mid turret. That's actually what you need to be doing as well. You need to be rotating mid. We're looking to take out outer turrets. And so I would say Ez is a better AD carry than you, even though you know, he died in lane early on. He's actually applying pressure a lot way better than you. And so it doesn't matter if you're doing way more damage. If you're not actually going to do anything about the fact that you have more damage, then you're just going to get outplayed by someone who's applying way more pressure. This is really dumb on their part. Remember that minigun does more damage than rocket form, because you have a tendency to constantly switch to like rockets in fights. So dragon's a good call. If you're gonna take dragon, you need to shove this wave pretty hard. At least that's what I would recommend. But it's fine. I mean, they can't really contest this dragon anyway, so you guys get dragon. That's fine. But then what do you guys do after? What are you doing here? I mean, you could have. So I know it's like it might seem nitpicky, but you could have backed. You didn't have to walk all the way here to back. You probably wouldn't back here, but at least like go here and back or something. Because taking the time to actually walk all over here, you're just wasting seconds. Because what you need to be looking at, what you need to realize is right now that you guys have no mid outer turret, and they do have a mid outer turret. And if they have an outer turret and you don't, then what's going to happen is you have no outer turret to stop any sort of minion waves from building up and pushing. While they do, they have a turret that's going to stop any of your minions from actually going past this point. And so naturally their minions are going to push as long as you don't have an outer turret. So you need to be looking at mid, taking mid outer turret, and same thing for top. So you'll notice that Ez has got a wave here he's doing. Not sure why you're going bottom. Oh, you're heading over here. That's fine. That's good pickup. So this is good. This chase is a little unnecessary. Killing Leona is not the biggest deal in the world, so you seem a little happy to go for kills. Because ideally what would have happened is you let Leona go, and then you take a mid turret. Because this turret is going to give gold to your whole team. Taking out Leona, first off, there's no guarantee that like Kennen wasn't okay. So I guess maybe you might have known that Kennen and Zed were top. But what if one of them were here? Like then you just may not even get the kill on Leona. So you chased for basically no reason to get a kill that probably isn't worth it. When you should have let Leona go and said, hey, this is a great time for us to take mid tower. And you should have taken mid tower. Because of that, you're not going to take mid tower for a little bit longer. And just notice the pressure here. So like you're not even pressuring any turrets. You kill Leona, but you didn't pressure any turrets. And so what's going to happen is the minion wave still in mid is still going to build up and head down here. Your lack of an outer turret, besides the fact that these guys are here, even if they weren't here, the minions were going to build up and start heading down this way anyway. So you need to be looking at taking the outer turrets. But you didn't do that. You guys are going to pick up some kills here, but it doesn't matter because they're chunking your tower. They also got a kill, so it like kind of evens out. Because they did damage in your tower, and that's what matters. Notice that your team is completely reactionary because you don't have the outer turrets. If you had not chased Leona and you're taking this turret, then there would not be as much pressure mid. This is really good on Ezreal and Mumu's part that they're grouping up and they're pressuring. That's something you're not doing. You're roaming around the map being reactionary. Even though you actually have way more kills and you're doing way more damage than Ez, you're unable to do anything about it because you're unable to push. I mean, you do get static shield later on, but by that point, you guys have already gotten pushed in so many times that it's kind of like a null point. So it's fine to be pushing this out. I'm surprised why you didn't just like straight up try to fight Ezreal. They straight up engage on him since he was solo bot. But you'll notice that like the push is constantly happening. And you're just playing completely reactionary. You're just constantly roaming because you're getting pushed in on all fronts. And that's a way to lose the game really. You know. When you can't apply pressure, even though you guys are like 5 kills up, you guys don't seem to be applying pressure because you're being reactionary. So why did you go bottom again? Like you might see Ezreal here pushing, but you know, are you really gonna just sit here and wait for the wave to get to you? You had another wave you could have cleared mid. You gotta actually apply pressure, not just let the pressure be built and then like forced upon you, because how are you gonna win, right? It's not by being reactionary. It's by doing something. The only way you win by being reactionary is if they screw up. Like they engage on you guys and they screw up the team fight. Like someone has bad positioning or something. You know, only then can you do something. But even then, even if you win the team fight, right? If you haven't been applying pressure, then the minion waves are still building up toward your base. And so even if you ace them at like, I don't know, your turret here, if you have no pressure to actually push up, someone's either got to tank this turret or like you probably can't even get anything out of the fight anyway, like winning a team fight. So I mean, I don't understand why you can't just go and fight Ezreal right now. You're just kind of sitting here like, okay, I'm gonna play it safe. Tristana's finally taking mid, that's a good thing. But you're sitting here like, oh, I'm scared of Ezreal when I have an Infinity Edge, 6 kills, more CS. Think you even have level advantage. You have 2 levels on him. You can just straight up walk over and start fighting him. But I mean, you're playing it super safe. It's almost like you're not even you're playing it almost like Ezreal is better than you, and that's the problem. Actually, the better way to put it is, based on the way Ezreal's playing, he is playing a lot better than you. Even though he's behind, he's doing better than you, and that's what should not be happening. So this is fine. I don't know why you were roaming up and down. You need to be clearing this. What is going on? Like, there's still an hour tower to be taken. Clear this wave. Get out of here. Or get dragon. You know, do something. You probably couldn't have gotten dragon because you didn't have ward coverage on it. You'd have to have a specific, like, pink ward. Or like a sweeper. Trundle's smart and got a sweeper. Nami's not very good and didn't get a sweeper. You always get sweeper after Sightstone because there's no point in having the warding totem if you have a Sightstone. But you could at least ward dragon. And you need to be looking at taking top outer. Alright, so you finally get a static shiv. You should be able to clear waves pretty well. See where you go. So Mumu's pushing. Shouldn't be. Purple team got dragon. Wow, that's insulting. You guys were 5 kills up and slightly ahead. Why are you going mid again? I don't understand. Sure, there's a wave here that you can farm, but there's a tower here that should not be here. And so I don't understand why you didn't group with Riven and take top. Of course, I think she gets top anyway, but all you did was okay, you get killed here. Yeah, you should have grouped with Riven. Yeah, because you weren't very relevant here anyway. You just farmed some minion waves and then you get killed by Kennen. Could have taken top with Riven, been a lot safer. What you should have done anyway, even though Riven was going to get top by herself. She gets outplayed hard here. So they get Baron, which is even more of an insult to your team. Because your team is still slightly ahead, but they're getting all these things like Dragon and Baron that that shouldn't be happening when your team fight's actually stronger. And this is how you lose a game, not applying pressure. Riven's applying decent pressure top. That's good. Riven's actually being really smart here. She's utilizing the fact that they're all grouping mid and that they're hesitant. So if they hadn't tried to engage upon you, you guys probably would have lost the fight because they had Baron and they had like all 5 there. If Riven had teleport, this would have been fine. I do stuff like this in plat all the time. If I see people like dancing, like sort of like poking at each other, you know, pushing minion waves back and forth, but not actually engaging on anything, you know, I often play top with teleport, and so I'll just keep shoving like another lane, applying pressure. So this is really smart what she's doing. She does get killed, but it's fine. You guys get a tower. And I actually think I'm gonna cut the video off like around here. I do know you guys like, I think you guys win this fight for the most part. But I think you kind of understand why you guys lost the game. So main things for you to work on are, you know, recognize when you have a kill, start abusing that. Like even if it's just one kill, just start abusing it. Click on the enemy champion, check how much attack they have, check how much health they have. Is yours is higher, you win the extended trade. And so as long as you can, you know, dodge their support, you know, be respective of their support, then try to pressure the enemy laner more. This isn't just for bottom lane, this is for every lane. Another thing is buy wards. The support is not the only one who buys wards. And I understand you did a decent job of that later on, but when you got that first kill, part of the reason why you weren't able to push anyway, like exploit the advantage anyway, is because you didn't have the ward. Granted, Nami should have had a ward, but you know, you had the gold for a ward. You didn't really need the pickaxe at the point, because the pickaxe isn't going to help you exploit your advantage bot, as well as a second Doran's boots, so you can help dodge Leona and, you know, move around faster, chase Ezreal like better, and getting like a ward so you can actually push the lane safely and you know, be sort of overextended. So there's that. There's minigun form. After you guys took bot, you played very reactionary. You chased a kill on Leona way over here when you should have taken mid. Realized the objectives win the game, not kills. That's something the opponent or the other team understood that you didn't. Is that objectives win the game. They were pressuring your objectives all game. You guys are just being purely reactionary. That's partly because of you, because you're the primary DPS. You're the best person for taking out towers and objectives. You seem to be purely, you know, going like farming minion waves, being reactionary. You know, not even you played scared. Like you had way more damage than Ezreal, and you were letting Ezreal just do whatever he wanted. That's straight up insulting. You also let them have a dragon that you could have easily contested. Um, you know, when you killed them bot and they decided to go dragon, Tristana was heading down. She pinged it. You could have easily gone over and contested the dragon. I don't know why you didn't, but just numerous things. I don't think I'm gonna continue the video here. You know, just respect all the small advantages is what I'm saying. You know, use minigun form more. Just the stuff I've said in the past like minute or two. Just work on those.